무대에서 토 한번 해야지. 무대에서 토 한번 해야지.
Hello, if you are new to the channel, you may be wondering, what is our normal content around here? This is not it. The show review video definitely was not it either, but this is a little bit different from our normal content. Usually we analyze lyrics and stuff like that. Today we will be analyzing a music video, which some of you who have been on the channel a bit longer may know we've done before. We did it with smartphone. I don't know why I'm saying we as if you were like helping me write my analysis, but anyway, I tried it with smartphone. I found it very fun. I don't know if I was necessarily good at it, but you know, practice makes perfect. So we're gonna try it again. I really wanted to talk about the More and More music video just because I started thinking about it a little bit more deeply, and I found that it was really, really interesting in ways that I had kind of just not really put together. So the main question I had when all of this was going through my mind was, why is there the horse? Why is the horse there? What is it supposed to be there for? And you know, when you think about it, it's not that hard to put together actually. It's a white horse. White generally represents holiness, God, all of that. So I believe the horse is meant to represent God, but it's an interesting representation. It may be obvious, but the decision to make it a horse, for one thing, how do I put this? Horses generally represent freedom, and I think that people a lot of the time when they're looking back on the story of Original Sin, which is obviously what More and More is about, people don't really take into consideration the freedom that God granted Eve. We have in this music video at one point, well, when the horse is there, it's kind of separate from the space that the girls all inhabit. It's definitely it's definitely still in the same general area, but it's separate because, you know, there is this idea that what if God played a role in or the Original Sin happening? Like, he didn't take away all freedom from Adam and Eve, so doesn't he kind of play a role in that? And I mean, if you're religious, you probably have a different perspective on it than I do, just because I'm not religious, so I'm just looking at this as what I've been taught it's supposed to be. It's not something close to my heart, so if it is close to your heart, definitely don't think I'm trying to make fun of religion. I'm not, like I said, I'm not religious, but I understand that it's a good part of a lot of people's lives, and I'm sure it's a good part of a lot of yours. So that is something that I recognize. I think it's great. By no means do I mean to make fun of you or what you believe in. That being said, I think it's also interesting that it is a horse. I mean, we are taught that we were made in God's image. Obviously, in this case, we were not. In this canon, we were not made in God's image. And I think that emphasizes humanity, and I think in emphasizing humanity, you emphasize toxicity. We have this, like, the girls obviously look beautiful. They always look beautiful. But in sort of romanticizing them, we're romanticizing this humanity, and I think that romanticizes toxicity. I mean, there are not a lot, there are a couple scenes where one face will be like close to the camera and one will be behind it, and I think that is sort of emphasizing this this sort of like nefarious nature that humanity kind of just has. You could argue that that is part of that. You could argue that that was gained after original sin, but I just think there's this very interesting focus on the humanity of people, of this lurking internal monologue kind of in seen in the members. Um, that is something you would definitely argue is not meant to be taken from the video, but that's what I think. We also have in part of the choreography, Mina like cloaks her face. It's in the beginning of the video. She cloaks her face and then pulls her hair back, and I think that that's kind of representing how humans in doing this gained a new source of identity. And you also have the on that note, you have the dance break. Everyone's dressed completely in white, which is very interesting. You would think that would be kind of a holy thing, but the music is very much not your typical, like, it's very kind of, I don't want to say EDM, but it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it necessarily musically. I don't know enough about that, but it's very chaotic. It's very there's kind of a dark tone to it, and I think in that way we're kind of representing how God has been warped in the eyes of these people. And also, Momo is in the center during the entire dance break, but at the end, she kind of blends in. She goes into the middle of the line, and so you have this center blending in. And so I feel like that is sort of representative of this inherent toxicity just kind of being minimized. I know this probably sounds crazy. Uh, There's also pink and blue lighting in the video, and it kind of reminds me of like, we emphasize pink and blue specifically when we're talking about infancy and not necessarily gender, but sex. Um, so emphasizing that infantile nature, like it's just, this is, it kind of suggests that this chaotic and nefarious nature is inherent. And you do have some more stuff with colors when Nyan, Dahyun, and Mina are going through like the portal. There are so many colors, and I feel like that is also emphasizing we've strayed from good, quote unquote, godly nature. In the beginning, they have all of these long, pale dresses, and we have one black dress in Junghyun, but we have these pale dresses that are representing purity, and then we have the black dress, and it kind of suggests how there is an underlying there is an underlying tendency to sin, and obviously Junghyun doesn't have that black dress throughout the music video. She later on she has stuff that's more similar to the other girls, and it kind of seems like, oh, this nefarious nature is actually able to blend in with the rest of what makes us human. We have this like bohemian fashion, and I feel like it emphasizes how natural things were kind of warped into clothing. Which, we have, obviously, when Adam and Eve ate the apple, they were like, oh my God, we're naked, we have to cover ourselves. So the natural sort of attire does make sense, but at the same time, it's like, it makes me obviously think of existentialism, like these things are based on living creatures, and yet they were warped into something that is an object. So you kind of have that existential thought of like, a big part of existentialism is a supposed abandonment from God. So I feel like embracing that sort of existence is very interesting when we have this white horse, when we have this representation of God. Like it emphasizes how everything happening in this music video is a direct like what's the word I want? not like assault. That's too much, but it's like a it's going against everything that a god is supposed to represent, in my opinion. There's also the line, I know you. Not only is it existential in that we are kind of defining people based on how we perceive them, but it's also like, I know you. We have this knowledge. We have defied God in that way. It's very interesting to me. There's also this scene where the three of them, uh, I believe it is Nayeon, Mina, and Dahyun, they're eating the apples all together. There are three of them. You know what else there are three of? The components of personality according to Freud, which is a very random thing to reference, but I feel like it is kind of relevant. I think that I could definitely see that having been part of the inspiration, and I feel like I've talked about everything, but I haven't talked enough about anything. Um, it's just like everything is so complicated, and I think that when I was originally watching the video, I took everything as like strange but meaningless, and I'm not sure how I went on that long without thinking about it. But yeah, this was mostly what I wanted to talk about. I think I've gone on enough. We haven't really came to any conclusions, but this isn't an essay, it's an analysis, not an analytical essay. This is just me talking about things that I noticed. And I'm hoping that some of you have also watched this music video or will watch this music video and have things to add to my own analysis or to your own analysis. This is all just for the sake of thinking. I enjoy thinking about things. I'm not in a very good place right now, so this is something that I find very interesting and fun. And you don't have to be like, oh, oh, feel better. Like, I'm fine. But, but I'm just not in the best place. So this was something that I found very fun to look at, to talk about. If you guys are interested in more music video analyses, please let me know, because I did start analyzing the I Can't Stop Me music video a while ago, and I was like, I'll make a video about this, but then I just didn't. That is something that I definitely want to talk about if you guys are interested. So please let me know, because it's such an interesting music video. These are the videos where I'm like, I don't like how they look, but they make me think so hard that I kind of do start to like them. So I guess my girlfriend is a MOA, and obviously they have very intense lore. So part of me is like, I want something to analyze in our music videos. I want to analyze Twice music videos, but yeah, this is just me being probably cringy. But anyway, uh, like I said, it's everything's fine. Don't worry. I'll be okay. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know. I feel like I've said please let me know a million times. Um, I'm hoping this video sounds at least somewhat sensible. I'll see you next time. Oh, this sounds like me ending a therapy session. Yeah, just about me ending a therapy session. Goodbye.